In this tutorial series video, we will cover modeling and how to use the artifacts we previously created to train a model. Clicking the modeling menu bar option will take us to the modeling workspace. This workspace offers numerous controls. Let's go over them. In the upper left, there are 3 tabs along the right edge of the modeling panel: Models, VDSs, and Assets, which is inactive by default. Clicking the Assets tab will make its panel visible and we can see it at the bottom of the sidebar now. The system will automatically load any saved training runs and display them in the right panel as well as in the notifications panel when it is visible. I will click and drag the TensorFlow Iris Regression Advanced model directly into the Training Parameters window where it says Drag Model here. We can see the name of the model we just added now in the box where it indicated to drop the model. If we decide that we no longer want to do model training on that regression set, we only need to drag and drop another model into the location we did with the last, and it will replace that model with the new one. Removing a model is just as easy. Click and drag the panel displaying the model name and release it outside the training window. Next, we need to choose a VDS to use with our training model. The left side of the training panel is where we can add those datasets. Dragging and dropping directly to the large VDS icon in the middle of the window will set the chosen VDS. This will also append that selection to all empty lifecycle phases which we see indicated by the highlighted fields. Releasing the click, we see it has populated all 3 lifecycle operations with the chosen dataset. Running the training now would use a single data set for all 3 phases of the training cycle. However, I want to evaluate this model with a different dataset. Just like when selecting the model for training, we can drag and drop a different VDS directly on the current selection, and it will overwrite the existing one. We can see that the evaluation field dataset has changed to the new one we just dropped on that field. Like we did previously, removing any dataset is done by dragging the item you want to be cleared directly out of the window and releasing it over the empty workspace area. Removing the data set from any particular phase of the lifecycle will darken the corresponding slice of the VDS image. The Start Training button has been temporarily disabled because we no longer have a complete template to conduct the training with the removal of that testing dataset. If I grab another dataset and drop it into the empty field, not only is the VDS icon fully illuminated again, the Start Training button is active again too. If the evaluation dataset is empty, and I replace the testing data set below it with something else, it will shuffle that data up to the now empty evaluation field above it. Where appropriate, we made this application as smart as possible to simplify these processes for users. Let's now look at some of the configurable training parameters available by clicking the Training Parameters tab at the center top of the window. We will not be covering all visible controls in this video, but these are all standard model configuration parameters. The text field, Save Training As, allows us to give this configuration of datasets and parameters a unique name. Once we save the training run, it populates to the Training Runs panel on the right, which can be opened by clicking the Trainings tab. Users have the option to change the default values used when configuring new training runs. Simply set the new desired default values and click the Save Defaults button at the bottom. The Lucd client aims to make the model training process as configurable and repeatable as possible. This ability to save defaults allows users to complete multiple training runs using a custom set of default parameters, without needing to readjust in between runs. Clicking the Clear Saved Defaults button will reset all saved custom defaults to the values configured during the client installation. I will minimize the Training Parameters panel so we can look at the Training Runs panel. As I stated previously, this panel displays the training runs that currently exist in the system. This panel shows us that all of the saved training runs have completed except the last one. The last entry looks like someone forgot to put a name. It likely failed on some parameters. Opening one of the saved runs, we see the name of the selected model, TensorFlow Iris Regression Advanced. We can see that the model ran for about 3 hours and 15 minutes on September 15. Since this training run is complete, what we can do with this is click the Start Train button. Clicking that button will open the training configuration window, but this time it will be pre-populated with all of the models, VDSs, and configured parameters from this complete run. Now we can execute the same training run without having to configure the parameters ourselves manually. Suppose this run did not produce the desired results. Now, we can easily tweak those settings and rerun the training. I would like to shift focus back to the Saved Training Runs panel again because there are two more controls I would like to cover within it. The Delete Training Run button, which will do just that. It will delete the saved training run. And the Download Model Artifacts button, which will download all associated training artifacts for that saved training run. This concludes the Lucd Client Modeling tutorial video. Thank you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when new content is available.